Yeah, hello everyone. Good morning, good evening. So in today's session, I'll be talking about that route shape. In the last session, we discussed about decision shape and when to use that decision. So when you have two conditions, either do this or do that, right? So in that sort of situation, you have decision shape that you can use. But let's suppose the situation where you have multiple conditions, right? So, uh, you know, uh, condition one, two, three, four, more than two. Right? In that case, we have to use this route shape. So if I would give you an example and if I'd like to relate it to the use case in general way. So for example, let's suppose if you are visiting any airport with your boarding pass, then you will go to security personnel and then he'll see your boarding pass and based on that based on that he'll guide you. Like if you're flying with Indigo, then he'll say that go through this, go in that direction. If you're flying with SpiceJet, then go in that this direction, something like that, right? So similar to that, if in the integration framework or integration, flow, if you have to decide based on the data that you are receiving, like if the data is marked as sales, then send that data to the sales department. If it is marked as finance, then send this data to finance department. If it is marked as HR, then send it to HR department, and so on, right? And that is where when we have more than two, conditions, then that is where we use this route shape, right? So how we'll do it? I have already created this, so I'll walk you through that so you can come to know how to develop it. So this is the integration flow where I have used this route shape. And the first shape is start shape of no data, nothing new here. Then on the route shape, this is what the configuration I have given. And the configuration is that I have selected here the type is process property. I'll talk about this process, what process properties is, and this is process property, name that you have created, and then the property name under this process property, right? So uh, we are using that particular property from the process property component, and then comparing that with different values. So you can keep adding values with this flag, and then you have different comparison operators, right? And then you can put the target value here. If you if you don't want it, you can delete it. So right now, if you could see how many conditions I have given here uh, for this particular key. One is Patna. Another one is it is getting compared with Delhi and Ghaziabad, right? And if you could see here, this route shape that is giving you 3 plus 1. Plus 1, why plus 1? Because 1 is default. If none of the conditions is satisfied, then it will move to the default uh, section or branch, right? So if you could see here, this is equal to Patna, then it will go to this. It will go and execute this branch. If it is equal to the value which is coming here, that process property value. If it is equal to Delhi, then it will execute this branch. And if this is equal to Ghaziabad, then this will execute this branch. If it is none of these, then it will execute this branch. And we have used here exception shape just to throw the intentional exception. You can do anything here, but for this, for now, just I have given this shape over here. All right. So what is basically process properties? So when you go and try to create a new component, then one of the components that you can create is the process properties, right? You can type here process property, right? Similar to process, you can create process property. Let me say cancel for now. So that process property is already created. And in this process properties, what we do generally, we define the properties. Those you can use in the process, right? So Very first time, if you do, this will be blank. You have to click on this plus sign and you can add a new property. If you have to delete it, select and click on this cross. So this is the property I have added under this process property component, and it is labeled as this, right? And then here allowed values. What all the allowed values we can have for this property that you can add here. So if you could see, I have added here one that uh, multiple here values here. This file name, test file, something like that. For if you have to add some additional values, still you can do it, right? So you have to set this label and the value, right? So similar, and you have to select here the default one. You have to select here the default one, right? And the default one is here city. And what is the value for city? This is Patna, right? So this is one component that we have created, which is called process properties. And under this, this is the property that we have created, and this is what the default value which is set to this property, right? And if you go back to your process, then let me open this route shape once again, and this is, if you see a route by, so we have selected the type as process property here, and then process property name I have selected, that component I had created, and then process property name. So there was just only one process property, so one name is coming. In case of multiple properties in that process properties, then all those properties will come here. So you have to select, right? And what was the default value that was set there? That's city, right? And under that city, there was a value called Patna, right? So in this process property, the key here, okay, that is going to carry a value from the label city, and which is Patna here. And when that value will be compared with these, conditions, then which one of them will evaluate to true? Definitely this, right? So in this situation, which branch will get executed? This branch will get executed, right? So let me go and run it. First, wait for a few seconds, see what's happening. See, this branch has executed. This had not executed. This has also not executed. And if you have to see what is the message that we have printed here, which has gone to this, you can view this message. I am from Pat. Similarly, because here you have the process property, if you could uh, change it, right? For example, if I select this Delhi, default value is Delhi, right? And save it and go back here. Let me retry previous test. Okay, let's see what is happening. Because here process property, that is an independent component which is getting referred here, right? So we for this we are still in execution, that page. But as that process property was independent, we went and changed the default value for that particular property from city to Delhi, right? And then re run that previous run, right? So if you could see this time, this condition is true, and now this branch has been executed. And if you could see here, I am from Delhi, right? So this is how that route shape that can work, and the use case where you can use it, right? So you have now decision and you have now route, right? So that's all for uh, today's session. See you in the next session.
Please follow, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and press the bell and press the bell icon.